because we had a few errors in the last one, it brings up a good point on if we didn't have the subassembly for the post holder. So I'm just going to suppress these guys out. And we're going to bring in, like we built individuals, insert component, and I'm going to bring in the long and place it, and we'll apply the mates. And don't know where it went. There we go. So yeah, that's okay. We'll go that way. And coincident. Alright, so we had that situation where one of these is going to be short or long and we need to change it out. And because it's not a configuration at this level, it's at the assembly level, I can't just swap it. So we have the choice of deleting it and inserting the correct one. Or, let's see if we can find it, replace component. And we will browse from the long to the short because this geometry is very similar. Then reattach the mates. It finds the face, finds the geometry, so that works pretty well. The other issue that we ran into, and I could build that up into the configuration, and don't want to go too complicated, but I wanted to just kind of illustrate the function. So the other item that ran into was with the links, and that could have saved a lot of that issue with the mates, and also if we treat it as a subassembly, having to bring in each of those bearings. The downside is that on our bill of materials, as assembly and a subassembly, it's going to try to, or it's only going to show 2 and then have 2 per subassembly, and then we're going to have to do some counting to get the total number of bearings. But it will make it significantly easier, so we'll explore that one as well. Alright, so we're going to do the save as, and this is save as copy and open. And instead of links, this is our link 1, this is going to be links. Okay, so we have our first, close the original document. And I'm going to create the configurations for link 1, which should be what we have. Make sure we're going to the top. We don't want to see anything that says derived. Link 2. And add configuration for link 3. Okay, so we're in link 3. That was the 14-inch. That's also going to be the one that has the extra 2 holes. So we have to come up with a strategy to secure or to verify that geometry. So first of all, we'll change that to 14. And then on the cut extrude, when I edit it, it should rebuild. But now instead of going all through, let's see if we can use a reference dimension. So cut extrude. Oh, I needed to edit the sketch, so let's edit the sketch. And if I go with a reference dimension, will that be accessible? So 9 inches, make the dimension driven. It still gets assigned D4 sketch 2. And this will be a quick introduction to equations. So we'll remove the symmetry. And then I want to go to here. I don't think I changed the spacing on the other one when I did that. So anyway, we're going to set equal D4 at sketch 2 divided by 2. and accept. Alright, so what that does then, we are in the configuration for link 3. I'm going to double check the geometry since something else triggered my memory. Because I'd looked at that before, 10 by 1 inch, 10 by 1 inch, and 12 by 0.95. Alright, so we'll see if that has any effect. But we're at 14 inches. And we're going to go to 12. I want to make sure that it is this configuration. So there's going to be 12 instance count for this configuration, 0.95 for this configuration. And when we rebuild, then that didn't quite pick up. So we may still... Oh, it picked up the last, not on the instance count. Alright. So we would have to work out our geometry with the equation so that it finds the last OR that we have the number to begin with. So let's... No, we can't go that way. Okay, so that was a good first attempt. If I delete that, it's going to mess up the equation, but if we double click that, that's gone. So we also have access to that times the number of instances. And I want to make sure that my order of operations, I don't have to think about the order of operations here. So let's see, what was D2? Well, that should have been D3 or D1. Let's delete that and make sure I'm putting the right one in. Okay, D2 times D3 divided by 2. That should be all configurations, so we'll go ahead and accept that. And then that puts it on center, and since it's not an odd number, then we're also going to have to add in half of that. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that should be D3 divided by 2. Oh, I got an equal in there. How about A plus? And accept. Alright, rebuild that. And I went the wrong way. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where did the other one go? 3? Oh no, there's 7 there. Okay, now we have 6 on that side, now 6 on that side. So that equation, the test for that equation then will be to go to link 2. And in link 2, we're to 13 inches. And rebuild. And in link 1, then we really shouldn't have seen any change, but we can double check since that sketch changed. It should have changed for all of them. So the little sigma sign is telling us that it is equation driven. On that dimension, we're taking the values of the instances and those dimensions and coming up with something that adjusts automatically. So I could check that. We'll do 14 at 0.75. I don't know. Something different. Now this is probably going to fail if we end up with an odd number, because I'm having to separate instead of the one showing up at the middle. So that's maybe a limitation or a condition. Alright, so that looks pretty neat. Came up with our separation. We'll go back to 10 and 1 and rebuild. Alright, so as long as we say all the time those numbers are going to be even, then there's probably another mix of equation that we could put in there to bring it up. Alright, so we go into the assembly, and I want to bring in the links. And we're going to hide the origins. Alright, because I didn't want to pull in those bearings each time. Okay, and then the tab. We'll let it catch up. Hopefully, there we go. Make sure that that is a 35. Thickness of 0.5, that should be good. Hover, tab, click, and exit. Alright, so rebuild and save, and we're going to make sure that this is a links, now just subassembly for abbreviation. Alright, and then in the configurations, I want to add the configuration for link 1. Add a configuration for link 2. Oh, and I forgot to, we're staying with the document name there. I need to switch that over to the configuration name so it does show up correctly in. And again, the difference is I have the brackets and here I don't. So properties, and we'll go link 1. And that description is probably not going to update to the capital, so configuration name, configuration link 3, and configuration name. Alright, so link 3 then, we're going to change this configuration and go to link 3 and accept it, and we see that it updates. And if I measure from there to there, I have the, oh, I went to 13. Let's double click. This configuration goes to link 2. Yeah, I'm not seeing these updates, so we're going to have to double check what I did on the lengths, and there's a good possibility that in the part, since I was talking and probably not paying attention, yeah, all configurations. So let's just double check those numbers. I am in link 1. This configuration 12. Link 2, 13, and link 3. This configuration 14. Alright, so we rebuild, we save, we go back into the assembly, and then we double check link 1 to link 2. And link 3. Alright, so that is working correctly, and we're going to go through those iterations each time to make sure that, well, I overlook things, I did not recognize or otherwise catch when I was going through that process. Alright, so we have the post short. I'm going to go ahead and take that one back out. And we're going to try this again, and just for convenience I'm going to add these to a folder. And this was my first attempt. So those are all suppressed and not participating. We could use, but I want to take a little bit different tact, so insert components. I'm going to bring in the post holder, and that one's the short, so I want to see what happens if we bring in two longs. And interestingly enough, that looks like it's trying to jump inside of the part, so the concentric, and that is the one concentric that I don't care if it's not rotating. So anti-align reverses it. And the holder side, that one was okay. What did it pick up there then? Face, oh, on the button head cap screw. Well, I have no idea why it did that. I think I don't remember doing that one. So, and let's do a right click and select other. Make sure I'm getting that face, and then I would have to check my mate alignment. Alright, so I want to make sure to grab the post. It's bringing it out that way again. Alright, so it's going to be safer to set the coincident, flip the mate. Not sure what happened with that one, but there's another diagnostic quick check to find out what I told it to do. Concentric. Alright, so here's where we set the departure from what we did previously. Insert components. I'm going to browse to the link subassembly. Bring that one in. And rebuild. Alright, and then this one is the link 3, so it's actually the above. So link 1. And we're going to make that concentric. Since it did pop up with a lock rotation, I'm going to take that as a good sign that it did not automatically put it in there. Alright, I'm going to drag and drop. So Control Select, but that got the component then again, so Control Z. So I need to make sure that I'm pulling in the subassembly. Concentric. Pick the face. And pick the face. And go coincident. Okay, and then we can go Control 7. And then I want to bring in the post holder, but now this one is going to be a short. And accept it. Concentric. No, it's going to be lined up with the other face. So deselect that one, Control deselect, Control select, coincident. Make sure I'm getting another assembly. And select Control select. Oh, went the wrong way. So we'll go back and we'll find that first one, the coincident. Now that one did lock, huh? So unlock the rotation, edit, and we're just going to clear those selections and go this way instead. Okay, so what I need to find then is in the mates, we've added concentric and concentric, and those could be lock rotation, but then let's see if I can get that, nope, behave that time. So that moves, okay. One more, and this is going to be now link 3, and I probably did that again. Oh, they all updated. Interesting. I didn't think I had that many selected. Alright, so we get to at least sort that out. So the first one in is going to be link 1 and accept. Alright, that one did not update. So that was what we would expect. Oh, and I have to be careful selecting on them out of the assembly again. So link 2, actually link 3. So I wasn't paying attention to that, and it snuck up on me again. Okay, so that one then is going to be link 2. So my naming could have been a little bit better with those. Alright, so we go in, we add the concentric, since we're there, we're going to double check for the lock rotation. And then we'll pick up the face to be coincident. And we'll see what we end up with a gap going this way. Alright, so if everything moves, and we still have about that same gap, but if I look at this from the top, oh, I may have locked up again. That would be very interesting. Alright, well let me go ahead and pause, and you get the idea. Not sure, but I don't like that it froze again. Okay, so it did crash. Again, I don't know if it just hung or it's going to hung for an extended period of time, but my patience was not real high there. So I did want to check why the toolbox mates, and I typed in lock rotation, went to the little gear up here, the settings, system options, and we are looking under the whole wizard and toolbox, and since I really didn't know what to look for, just find all instances of lock rotation, return this one, click on it, brings me over here, and check it, we'll hit OK, because, well, I'm kind of tired of that being an issue. So that would be handy when we go to the screws. So let's see, this is number 3. I also changed the naming just a bit so that I could tell the difference between the component level and the subassembly level. Right, so we're going to drag that one in, and I'm going to make sure that I am picking, let's see, that one's still 3, and that's going to just continue to mess me up, so and we'll just drag in the last one, and 2, and OK. Alright, so save, since we're having that issue, and then I'm going to bring in the holder, make sure that I'm selecting the short from here, because everything worked pretty good up to that point. Alright, so we'll go concentric. It gives me the option, but the check then is here. It is not colored in, so that's looking pretty good. Oh, and this one is going to the inside, and the other one will go to the outside. So coincident. And then we can go concentric. And coincident. And save. And holder. That one's already a short, so that should be good. Alright, so I'll set those to be that way. And up. Nope, don't want to hit the mate alignment. Convenient that that comes up, but not when I'm getting button happy. And we'll go concentric. And concentric. Okay, and then we'll do the stack up to here. Alright, so again, the advantage of the configurations is that, oh, missed something there. So I'll just add it. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole with the geometry, so we can check. And these are in rebuild. I think it just crashed again. Wow, that's 3 times in one day, so I'm not sure if it's something to do with the bearings, the links, or the rebuilds, but let's pause again. Okay, I added the parts back in. We are looking at, before I move it, because it might be a video card issue as well, so 1A subassembly, 3 subassembly, 2 subassembly, poster on the narrow. We look at it from the top. We've got clearance to the inside and the outside. The stack up, it went that way, that's fine. Still have some movement that we'd like to address, and then I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Selected component is fully defined, so one of those stayed, or when I go back to the mates, right, so those are all suppressed. Those are the first 2. Alright, so it's not a lock rotation. Concentric. Alright, so that moved. I'm going to save one more time because I'm kind of getting tired of doing that. And then, which way can it move? Alright, I think I'm having a video card issue, so when you get these rebuilt, and hopefully you do not run into this, but if you do, I will look for a fix and post it later, but hopefully this gets us there, and it may be time to just go ahead and upgrade to 2023. So I'm going to call it good right here and see if this resolves itself.